video that is on anatomy of cornea part 4th, that was the corneal transparency, and in this video we will learn about how to maintain the cornea transparency and how cornea's various parts are involved in maintaining the corneal transparency. As you all know, I have made the 3 parts before this video. Please watch them first and then view this video to better understand about this anatomy of cornea. And before watching this video, please like it, share it and subscribe my channel so that the notifications are on the top of your mobile phones as my videos as for my future videos. And thank you so much for viewing my previous videos and this video also. Please watch it full so that you can better understand about corneal transparency. And thank you so much for viewing my previous videos. Have a look. So the corneal transparency topic, the part of anatomy of cornea, 4th. So first we have to understand that what are the functions of cornea. The functions of cornea, as we all know, it protects our eye, it helps in focusing the light entering in intraocular part of an eye, and it acts as a refracting medium so that a clear retinal image is formed. Because this is the main function of cornea, because of this refracting medium, there is a clear image on retina. Whatever we see, it's really clear because of this refracting medium. Okay, now the corneal transparency. Corneal transparency, maintenance of corneal transparency of high degree, means we have to maintain the transparency of cornea. To perform this corneal transparency maintenance, we need to understand about physical factors and anatomical factors. The physical factors is corneal layer arrangement, which is responsible for maintaining the corneal transparency, and the anatomical factors, that is the relative state of corneal dehydration. Okay, if these two factors get disturbed, then we lose our corneal transparency to some degree. Okay, now corneal transparency is maintained by, first we have to understand that if the corneal transparency is going to be lost with those two factors, the physical and anatomical factors, then how should we maintain this corneal transparency? The corneal transparency is being maintained by epithelium and endothelium, which serve as a mechanical barrier to fluid diffusion. It means these two layers of cornea are the most important part for corneal transparency maintenance, and these two serve as a mechanical barrier to fluid diffusion, and they create the gradient that allows osmotic transport of water out of stroma. It means they create a gradient, means they create something that allow the osmotic transportation, means the flow of nutrition and another things throughout the stroma. Okay, so now the factors affecting corneal transparency, means the two layers are really helpful for maintaining the corneal transparency. So corneal epithelium and tear film is really responsible for the corneal transparency and arrangement of stromal lamellae and corneal vascularization. These three factors are really important for corneal transparency affection. Okay, so now corneal epithelium and tear film. First we have to understand about what are the role played by corneal epithelium and tear film for maintaining the corneal transparency. So the normal epithelium is transparent due to homogeneity of refractive index. Means if the normal epithelium is there, it is really transparent because of the refractive index, and it is maintained by tight intracellular junctions account for its transparency, as well as its resistance towards water, electrolyte and glucose, which work as a barrier function. Okay, so now How tear film is responsible for maintaining corneal transparency? The tear film is responsible as the tear osmolarity averages around 295 microosmol per liter, which is isotonic with blood. Maybe you all understand about this, that the tears osmolarity in our eyes averages around 295. If it get disturbed, it will be lesser than or more than 295 microosmol per liter, which is not isotonic with blood. But if it is 295 microosmol per liter, then it is isotonic with blood, which maintain the corneal transparency. And the normal tear breakup time is generally less than 10 seconds. If the tear breakup time will increase or will decrease, then it cause the decrease in corneal transparency to some degree. Okay, the abnormality with tear film is with dry eye and meibomian gland dysfunction. It means the tear film may get disturbed with the dry eye and meibomian gland dysfunction, which reduce the corneal transparency. Now, the arrangement of stromal lamellae. The stromal lamellae is playing a major part for the maintenance of corneal transparency. It is described by two theories that have been put forward to explain the peculiar arrangement of stromal lamellae. Morris theory. The two theories are there. First one is Morris theory and theory of Goldman et al. So the Morris theory states that the loss of corneal transparency will result. It means the normal cornea having normal corneal transparency, but if there is a loss in corneal transparency, it will be the result of regularly arranged fibrils in a lattice that is separated by less than a wavelength by stromal edema or mechanical stress. It means if the patient or if the person is having stromal edema and the mechanical stress, then there is a loss of corneal transparency due to less than a wavelength separation. Okay. Now, the theory of Goldman et al. Theory of Goldman et al. After applying diffraction, as you all know what is diffraction. So, after applying the diffraction, the Goldman et al. Postulated that the cornea is transparent because the fibrils are small in relationship to the light and do not interfere to the light transmission unless they are larger than 1/2 of the wavelength of light, 2000 Armstrong. It means after when he applied the diffraction in cornea, then he postulated that cornea is transparent because the fibrils are not taking any engagement in the transmission of light unless if the light is having more than a wavelength of 2000 Armstrong. Okay, so the normal wavelength is 2000 Armstrong, and that doesn't take a part in loss of corneal transparency. But if it is larger than 2000 Armstrong, then it is taking part in the loss of corneal transparency. Okay. Corneal vascularization. Corneal vascularization, as we all know, cornea is a avascular structure. As I have told you in my previous video, the blood supply of cornea, that cornea is avascular except the small loops which invade the periphery about 1 mm, and the corneal vascularization is being associated with the various disease processes. It means if something going wrong or something happening as a disease in cornea, then the corneal vascularization get affected, and it brings the defense mechanism into play against the noxious agents. It facilitates nutrition transport, systemic antibiotics and drugs. Hope you all understand these 2 points also. If corneal hydration increases, then there is a loss of corneal transparency. As we are talking about dehydration of cornea that cause the corneal transparency loss. So if corneal hydration increases, then there is a loss of corneal transparency. Maybe by corneal surface irregularity. It means the corneal hydration is getting lost, is getting increased by corneal surface irregularity and the changes in corneal thickness. Okay, so thank you for giving your precious time You may follow my page on Instagram, that is Ophthalmology Talks, or you may follow me on FB also, that is Ophthalmology Lectures. Hope you all understand about this video. And here we have finished our anatomy of cornea whole. Thank you so much for viewing all the videos of cornea anatomy. Thank you.